Hey, what's going on, guys? Comrade 64. How you guys all doing today? And so for this video, I'm going to be talking about a huge missed opportunity that I think would have been amazing to see. And this missed opportunity is that how and I'm sorry if you hear outside. That's that dump truck trash. Taking getting the trash. I'm sorry. It's going to be leaving soon, so. Yeah, trash day was actually it was supposed to be yesterday, but apparently because of the snowstorm, on Monday, you know, it's today. Trash day is always Tuesday, but it's today and Wednesday because that's sometimes when it's a holiday, trash day, garbage day is always like either 2 days later after a holiday, something like that. Oh, sorry about that. Enough about that. Back on topic. So today I'm going to talk about a huge missed opportunity that I think really should have happened, but unfortunately never happened for whatever reason. I don't know if it was in talks to happen or maybe they never thought about it. But this is something I think would have been amazing to see, and that is what if we had Samus Aran from the Metroid franchise appear as a guest character in the 3DS game Dead or Alive Dimensions. Yep. Now, first off, before I get into that, I want to say I am somewhat of a fan of the Dead or Alive franchise. I guess I would say maybe a casual fan. I don't know if I want to say diehard fan of the franchise. I do like the franchise and all, but I guess I probably do have my reasons for why I love the franchise. Oh, sorry, my bad. This kind of deals off. Yeah, I said I have my personal reasons why I love the franchise in a way, but Dead or Alive has been a franchise that I've been okay and fine with. So I have played some games. I played Dead or Alive 5 and Dead or Alive 6. I played Dead or Alive 5 on the Xbox 360, and I played Dead or Alive 6 on the PlayStation 4. But unfortunately, mm, and that's about it. I think those are the only Dead or Alive games I've played. I don't know if I must have played any games when I was young, when I was a kid. I doubt it. I don't think so. Yeah, I think Dead or Alive 5 and Dead or Alive 6 are the only Dead or Alive games I ever played. I never played any of the others previous games, honestly. And I have also seen, the Dead or Alive movie. Not great, but I guess it's fine for what it is. In a way, I think it's a guilty pleasure. It's guilty pleasures. There are a lot of movies out there that are actually guilty pleasures of mine that I actually do like. You know, they are bad. Yeah, some of them are probably bad movies, or some of them are probably just hit and miss, or some of them are just meh. They do have mixed reputations, but they're my guilty pleasures. They're hit or miss for me. So yeah, so the Dead or Alive franchise has been a franchise that I've been kind of solo on. Not one of my top favorite fighting game franchises. That honor will probably have to go to either Smash Brothers series, or the Soul Calibur series, the Street Fighter. Well, I don't know why I want to say Street Fighter. Honestly, Street Fighter. I think Street Fighter. I'm a casual fan, so I guess my favorite fighting game franchise will have to be just Smash Brothers, Soul Calibur, and it's Mortal Kombat too, in a way. Street Fighter I used to be huge into, but over time my interest in the franchise has kind of waned a little bit, and I've kind of been more of a casual fan. And Tekken and Mortal Kombat, I say I'm casual on them too, and even King of Fighters. That's about it, And even Virtual Fighter. So I would say the Smash Brothers and Soul Calibur. The others I do like though. But Dead or Alive was kind of one of those franchises that I love, that I just wasn't a diehard fan, not a diehard fan, but I still like the franchise. And we can be honest, we there are reasons why we all love this franchise. There are reasons. Sorry, my bad. Doze off again. Think about you know who once again. But yeah, I'm thinking about like this what if scenario. Like, what if we had Samus Aran from the Metroid franchise as a guest character in Dead or Alive Dimensions? Now, for those you don't know, Dead or Alive Dimensions was a Dead or Alive game released for the 3DS. It was released back in let's see. I have it up right here. Yeah, it was released in 2011. They released on the Nintendo 3DS in Japan, no, in May of 2011. May 19th in Japan, May 20th in Europe, May 24th in North America here, and May 26th in Australia. AU, so it means Australia. So yeah, unfortunately, I never played this game. I think I probably must have tried the demo. I don't think so. I don't know, but so yeah. So yeah, it was a three Dead or Alive game released for the 3DS in 2011. It was I never tried it. I think I probably have, but my memory is a bit fuzzy, so I don't remember too much honestly. But now you're probably wondering why am I asking why would you want to see Samus appear as a guest character? Well, here's the thing. So Samus apparently see Metroid does make somewhat of a guest appearance in this game. Apparently there's a Metroid theme stage, and in the Metroid theme stage, both Samus and Ridley both basically appear as stage hazards in the game. Now, I forgot what they do exactly, but I did see some gameplay. I did read online that they come in and do some attacks on the field on the characters, something like that. Like from gameplay footage that I did see from last time, it's been years. Apparently, that one that Samus, she will show up in her that little ball of hers that she transformed into. She come on the field and like do some kind of attack. I don't know. And now for Ridley, he actually will appear in the background. He'll fly around in the background, like watching the fighters fight, and then he like I don't know if like if you get close to him, like or trigger some kind of stage attack or something, transition or something, where or maybe he'll just come in, like Ridley will just like come in and just attack. You just attack their player. You like gotta grab them, slam them around, and just like throw them back on the stage, something like that. So yeah, so it's kind of interesting how they were able to put a Metroid stage on there. Really interesting. But and I do think that was really cool to see. But I think what would have been awesome to see not only that, not only just a Metroid theme stage, but what if we had Samus as a guest character in the game? You know, what if Samus Aran? What if she was like? What if we had her as a guest character in the game? Now you're probably wondering like Samus wouldn't fit well, but I think in a way she probably would if they do something different with her. So, but if I would have Samus as a playable character in the game, here's the thing. Well, here's what I would do. I will not have her be playable. I will not have her in her power suit, actually, honestly. But rather, I will have her in her Zero Suit Samus attire, her Zero Suit Samus outfit. Like her without her power suit, basically. So I will have her fight without her power suit, and she won't be having her blaster with her. she's gonna be fighting hand to hand, you know, with the other. I will have her fight hand to hand with the other Dead or Alive combatants. And you're probably wondering, like, how could Samus can't do hand to hand combat? Well, actually, I think she actually can because Samus, she was raised by the alien race named the Chozo. I'm not too much of a Metroid fan. I read up stuff. You know, I I did play some Metroid games, but I wasn't too much into the knowledge of the franchise. I know little bits and pieces stuff. I know about how Ridley is responsible for the death of Samus's parents, and that Samus was raised by the alien race by the Chozos, and they trained her, and the Chozos were the one that I think made the power suit for her. Yeah, so she has a close relationship with the Chozo. So we can assume that the Chozo must have at least taught Samus, some kind of fighting skills, some hand to hand combat skills. We can assume. So yeah, so yeah, so if Samus were to be possible or to be a guest character in their lives dimension, they could have they could have they could have her like fight hand to hand. They could at least, or if they probably feel like they couldn't come up with a moveset for her, maybe they could probably come up with a brand new moveset for her. You know, like just come up with something, like be creative, like or take inspirations from her appearances in the Smash Brothers series. Zero Suit Samus, I say. You know, I mean, Samus, she is skilled and a bit acrobatic, and no, very acrobatic. She looks like she does gymnastic or something. Well, she can do flips and stuff. So it's easy to try to convert into moveset, try to convert some kind of moveset around that. You know, and if Samus were to be playable, you can definitely have her fight hand to hand. My thought is we could probably maybe take some inspirations from other fighting game characters, like maybe Nina Williams from the Tekken franchise, or Sarah something from Virtual Fighter. I forgot her name. Sarah from Virtual Fighter. Hold on. Let me read up. The character's name. Her name is Sarah something. Yeah. Here it is. Sarah Brandt. Sarah Bryant. Sarah Bryant. Yep. Because Samus does look like she could look similar to both Nina Williams and Sarah Bryant. They're blonde. They're blonde hair, beautiful blonde hair women with ponytails. So Samus could probably have a moveset like maybe inspired from them. If something like that. That's just how I look at it. I could probably see Samus like maybe taking some inspirations in from their moveset, or you could probably look at Samus like if she was in Daryl Life Dimensions, you could probably look at her as like a Nina Williams like character, or a Sarah Bryant Rent like character. You know, and that's just me. And like if you were to and like what are the moves that Samus could have, like if like will we give Samus like her high heel jet boots? I guess sure. I guess that would be fine. Now, will I have to like use it as an attack? Probably not. Just try to keep it grounded and keep it like fair for the other commanders. I don't think the other characters they can fly or stuff like that, or I guess like if they were to pull off some super moves, like I don't know if the Dead Life characters like if they have like thing where you pull off super moves, something like that, or combos or something. It's been a while since I played a Dead or Alive game, so my memory has been a bit fuzzy, honestly. But yeah, but I guess yeah, maybe Samus could use her high heel jet boots for like maybe like a special attack or something, like where she grabs the opponent and then she uses her jet boots to bring them up, flap in the air, bring them. the opponent with her, and then like either drop the opponent down on the ground or just slams right down on the ground. Like, how about something similar to what Shadow did to Sonic in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie? The iconic scene, where Shadow like grabs Sonic by the neck, and then he takes it up in the air, and then he teleports away, and then teleports right back. He throws Sonic up, and then he teleports away, and then he teleports towards up, and then grabs Sonic by the neck, and so down like you know, in that scene, Sonic's like, "Can we talk about this?" So yeah, like what if they can have Samus like maybe do something like that, or that's what I think. You know, well, I wouldn't have her use her blaster because honestly, yeah, that'd be cheating, and Dead or Alive is mostly about hand to hand combat. So just like I said, keep it grounded. That so yeah, that could be like a fun little moveset to give Samus. You know, I do think Samus will be a fun character to see as a guest character in Dead or Alive in a Dead or Alive game. It does kind of suck that they never thought about adding her as a guest character in Dead or Alive Dimensions. Now, I am thinking now. I don't know if there has been plans to add her as a guest character. If there were plans, or they were in talks to, or like were there like maybe like Team Ninja, Koei Tecmo, maybe they did. I think the company's name Team Ninja. I could be wrong. Hold on, I'm going back now. Yeah, Team Ninja. Yeah, Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo or Tecmo Coin. So I wonder did like Team Ninja or Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja did they like try to like did one of the devs or one of the people work there was think about, hey, what if we had Samus, since we're gonna have Metroid stage in this game, how about we add Samus as a guest character? Like, so like what did any of them thought about it? Or probably not. Or maybe did any of them did thought about it, and maybe if they asked Nintendo, like did they ask Nintendo if they could put Samus in as a guest character, or and if did Nintendo just straight turn them down, and reject them, refuse, and told them no? Like maybe there were probably plans to ask Samson as a guest character, but Nintendo probably refused, or maybe there were never plans at all, and maybe they never thought about it. Either they were thinking about it, but they decided not to. Either way. Now I do wonder if they did ask Nintendo, would Nintendo would have let them? Well, that would have been very difficult and hard to say honestly, because one of the things, this is from what I heard from a couple sources. Other people on YouTube have said this, and other sources have said this. The thing is, Nintendo seems to be very protective of their characters, basically all the properties. So maybe they probably weren't fine with the idea of Samus going up against any of the Dead or Alive characters. Well, I guess they were fine with Link, going up against the Soul Calibur characters in Soul Calibur 2. But I guess mainly that's because they helped with the arcade version of Soul Calibur 2, from what I heard, what's been said. So Nintendo seems to be very protective of the characters, and they don't seem to like using the characters and other stuff, from what I heard. Now, funny enough, speaking of Samus and also Link, Samus and Link both were actually, I think, actually planned to be playable characters in the Wii version of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. They were going to be exclusive to the Wii version, and apparently there was some gameplay footage with both characters, but apparently they never made it in. I guess maybe Nintendo refused to let them. Either, well, they made models for the characters, so I think maybe the characters. I think I don't know if they made those models, if Nintendo gave the permission, or they 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 just made those models and Nintendo never gave the permission, or maybe they made those models to just show Nintendo. Because if you make a model of a character that you don't own the rights to, that you don't have the license to, you can get in trouble. Like let's say they put Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist in a Shonen Jump crossover game without getting permission from Gun Comics, the company that owns Fullmetal Alchemist. Shonen Jump, they can get in trouble because they were not given the license to use Edward Elric. Or like say they put Natsu for Fairy Tail, or Inuyasha from the Inuyasha franchise, or Rama Satome from Ramen One Half, you know? Or any characters from Weekly Shonen Magazine or Weekly Shonen Sunday or something. Or a lump from Ursa Yasurai. They can get in trouble because they don't have the license to put those characters in. You need to always remember to get the license to a character. I mean, sure, you can make a model for the character if you're able to, but if you make a model, you can't put that character in because if you do, you're going to get in trouble because you don't have the license to put them in. So yeah, so I guess they made models for both Samus and Link, and basically Nintendo shot the idea down on having them appear as guest characters. I think I might make a video about what if Marvel Ultimate Alliance had console exclusive guest characters. If you want to see that, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, I do think so. Yeah, Nintendo does seem to be very overprotective of their characters. In games, characters. You know, and you know how in Tekken Tag tournament for the Wii U version, they had Nintendo exclusive costumes where some Tekken characters can dress up as Nintendo characters. One thing that I think would have been cool if like they had like any of the Nintendo characters appear as guest characters, like what if they had Captain Falcon appear as a guest character. But that probably will never happen because Nintendo, again, they're overprotective of the characters. Or maybe that Samus in her without her power suit, you know, or maybe other Nintendo characters like Little Mac or Ganondorf, or even Donkey Kong. Yeah, Donkey Kong. I don't know. Could Donkey Kong work? Maybe. Well, Tekken has Kuma, Panda, Ro- Roger Jr., and even they have gone to Dinosaur in one game, Tekken 3. So Tekken is not the winner of possibly of weirdness. And also there was that boxing dinosaur. I forgot. I'm not gone that other one. It didn't have Mokujin, so Tekken has a lot of weirdness, you know, despite somewhat being realistic in some ways in the game. So yeah, Nintendo, they seem to be very, very overprotective of the characters, and we don't know if Nintendo will ever be fine with seeing their characters appear in other games. And I think also like Mario, he was planning to be the console, I guess, character on the Wii version of Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing, but they chose not to do that. But that was mainly because they didn't want to compete with Mario Kart on the Wii. I think he was supposed to be exclusive to the Wii version and the DS version, but apparently Nintendo didn't want to have the game like compete with Mario Kart Wii, so it never happened. But I might do a video about that. Exclusive guest characters for Mario Kart. No Sonic Sega All Stars Racing. That's going to be in the works soon. You'll like that one. So yeah, Nintendo being overprotective of the characters, it is understandable. And I guess maybe Microsoft is like that too, because remember when Dead or Alive came to the 360? I forgot the name of the game. They had like a character from Halo, but it wasn't Master Chief. It was a different character, and apparently the character had like an outfit similar to Master Chief. So I think maybe they wanted to add Master Chief as a guest character in the 360 in the game, but apparently maybe Microsoft shot the idea down and told them no, not really. No, they refused. They didn't allow it, and they decided to use a different Halo character that wasn't Master Chief, but has a similar outfit, a Spartan outfit, I think it's called or something. So yeah, So I guess Microsoft is kind of like that too. They're overprotective of their characters as well. But it's understandable for why certain companies are overprotective of their characters because they don't sometimes don't like seeing their characters get the crap being out of them. So maybe Nintendo, if Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo were to ask Nintendo, hey, if they could put Samus as a guest character in Their Life Dimensions, they would have Nintendo probably would have refused and told them no. But I guess we did got Samus. Samus does appear in the Metroid stage as a stage hazard, along with Ridley as well. So that is something. But imagine an alternate universe where Samus does appear in Their Life Dimensions as a guest character. Honestly, that would have been amazing. It really would. And honestly, I would have loved it. And that probably would have get some Dead or Alive fans who would never play Metroid, maybe to get them into the franchise, maybe, or probably because sometimes when they add guest characters in games, is often for cross promotion, and that's about it. And just that, to promote the upcoming games, characters' upcoming project, like how the DMC Dante was put in PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale instead of the original, was because it was to promote uh, the Devil May Cry remake that came out a year late after in 2013 after PlayStation All Stars came out in 2012. And the same thing with Raiden, promote the upcoming Rising game. You know, yeah, Raiden. They chose Raiden over Snake. But I guess that was also because maybe Snake was also in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. But I don't think that still would have affected Snake's chances of getting in, anyways. Snake was already in DreamWorks TV World Fighters, which was Japan exclusive back in 2003. But that didn't stop Snake from getting into Brawl in 2008. So, and I guess Heihachi, he was also in Places Also Battle Royale just to promote Tekken Tag Tournament, get some more sales for that game. You know, and I guess Laura Croft was going to be in the game, but they wanted to use her reboot version that was going to come out in 2013, and they didn't want to in the game, but the game wasn't ready yet, so they decided not to put her in, from what I heard, something like that. But also Laura Croft. Would you like to see her appear as a guest character in Dead or Alive? I think that would be cool to see. But I want to have her fight with her guns or anything. Just have her fight hand to hand in combat. Not even with her arrow or anything else she has. Just hand to hand in combat. So yeah, sometimes guest characters get added for cross promotions and stuff like that. But it is a bummer that we never saw Samus appear as a guest character in Dead or Alive Dimensions. Now, if Dead or Alive Dimensions ever does get ported to the Nintendo Switch 2, do you think there's a possibility that they could put her in, or not really? I do think some things are possible, some things aren't. You never know. Yeah, because kind of like how how Kratos was in the PlayStation 2 guest character for Mortal Kombat 9. Not old PlayStation 3 guest character for Mortal Kombat 9 on the PlayStation 3 version. And apparently, Marcus from now originally it was going to be Sweet Tooth, but they went with Kratos. No, I think Sweet Tooth was considered, but they went with Kratos. I don't know. And Marcus from Gears of War was going to be exclusive for the 360 version, but unfortunately that never happened for whatever reason. I don't know. But let me know, guys. Do you think it's a bummer that we never got Samus as a guest character in Their Life Dimensions? And do you think, if the game ever does get ported, would you like to see her make an appearance, or if they make a new Dead or Alive game that comes out for exclusively for the Nintendo Switch 2 or on the Nintendo Switch 2, would you like to see her appear as a possible guest character in the game? You can feel free to let me know, or you guys are tired and done with con- guest characters and even exclusive guest characters. But you can let me know in the comment section below. What do you guys think? So yeah, that'll be it for this video. I'll be heading up. I'll see you guys later. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I have more videos coming up in the future. So be on the lookout and watch for those. This is Commerce 64, and I'm signing out.